We can start.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to welcome our viewers to the Sunday Taleem of masjidwdm Muhammad. Today we're going to give a presentation on a pertinent issue that is pertinent to all Muslims. I might add that all Muslims have a duty to prepare for death by having something in place to ensure that one's affairs are taken care of in this life and following death. I'd like to also add that it is not permissible for any Muslim who has something of bequest to stay for 2 nights without having his last will and testament written and kept with him. The Islamic tradition holds a lot of information on what happens to human beings after they pass away, and there are many reputable sources that they can go to for this information. Today, on on our Taleem, which is this is Muslim Sunday, we have with us a very renowned and senior pioneer in our community, and he is the CEO and founder of the Wave Makers Marketing Group. He also is a level 2 vice president with Senior Life Insurance Company. Also the executive director with United Wealth Education Services. And he has over 25 years in the industry of leveraged income. I've known Brother Naeem Abdullah, the brother who I've just read his credentials to you. I've known him for a number of years, long-standing pioneer, and a very good supporter of the Islamic Muslim community here in the Houston area. I have worked with him on several projects, and he has proven to me to be very well informed and very well educated in his area of expertise. So without any further delay, I'm going to turn you on to him, and he will, I guess, have a discussion with us or lay out plans that is a very pertinent issue within the Muslim community, but not only the Muslim community, but all communities. So, Brother Naeem, I'm turning it over to you.
Okay. All right. Well, walaikum salam, and thank you, Brother Imam Farouk and Imam Elijah Salahuddin. I want to thank you and our believers of our masjid here and surrounding areas for allowing me to share the information today that I think is very pertinent to our lives today. And what I'd like to share with you first, I'd like to talk about life insurance. The company that I represent and the company that I work with, as Imam Farouk just mentioned, is Senior Life Insurance Company, based out of Thomasville, Georgia. And I want to share some of the unique services about Senior Life Insurance Company that's different from other traditional insurance companies. One of the things that I've learned over the years that many of you all might know, oftentimes when we talk about life insurance, what's important to know that life insurance by definition is for those that are living. Which simply what I'm saying is that, when we think about life insurance, we think about death and dying, the fact that in passing away, it's important to think about what we can leave to our family. That's why it's referred to as life insurance. Now, that might not have ever been expressed to you in that manner. That oftentimes we pass away. There's house notes sometime, or if the house is paid for, it might be taxes, or maybe I'm setting up funds for my children or grandchildren to attend college, and just so many things that can take place, and that's why it's referred to as life insurance. But at the same time, we know that today the cost that's involved in the burial of a loved one, and what's unique to senior life is a twofold plan. Not only is life insurance part of the plan, but at the same time, the cost of burial. And we know that it different from traditional funerals of non-Muslim, but there's still a cost involved in our burial. Okay, I know Imam Farouk has shared with me price goes up almost every 2 years, and the price can sometimes range from $3,000, $4,000, and I can be corrected on that, or even more. But we know that it constantly goes up. So what I want to share with you, what's involved in the senior life insurance plan. When we think about buying insurance, what's unique about senior life is that the senior life allows you to choose a plan that best fits your budget. And what's unique about, different from other insurance companies, there are some insurance companies based on your health conditions or medication that has been prescribed to you, they will not give you coverage with some insurance companies. But what's unique about senior life, everyone can get coverage. And the max amount of coverage that you can get can be $30,000. And also what's unique about senior life, accidental death is automatically a part of the plan. So what do I mean by that? Accidental death, that means if I have a $30,000 life insurance policy and I died by some form of accident, where it can be a car accident, fell off the ladder, trip and falls, all that is deemed accidental, it will pay double, okay? But also the plan that one can choose that fits their budget, what's unique about it is the merchandise is included. Now, what do I mean by that? That means that as far as the burial part of the merchandise, where as in our tradition with Muslims, we don't use caskets as non-Muslims do, but there's a cost in transportation and all the other service that's provided. And so Senior Life allows over $3,800 for other services. Now, what do I mean? That means if you take out a $20,000 policy or a $30,000 policy, well, other insurance company, there must be a death certificate first. And sometimes, some of you all might have experienced, death certificates sometimes take 4 weeks to 6 weeks before you have the death certificate in order for the insurance company to pay out. Well, with Senior Life, oftentimes within 72 hours, not only will the wish team division of Senior Life, and they have what's called a wish team division, it means they seek help, where the wish team division will call the funeral home of the family's choice. And when they call the first funeral home of the family's choice, because of the mournful, stressful time when we lose a loved one, a lot of decisions have to be made. So the wish team division of Senior Life, they step in, they ask the funeral home of the family's choice. And then their goal is to reach out to the funeral home of the family's choice to negotiate the prices, transportation price, other prices that's involved in the funeral, okay? And with that, then they will, if they need to, they can call 3 other funeral homes in the area, because what they do in their negotiation, while the family during that mournful, stressful time, when decisions have to be made, they come back to the family to let them know what prices have been reached. Because oftentimes we're not aware that by law, every funeral home has what's called a general price list. If they list it as a funeral home, they have to have a general price list for what they charge, the washing of the body, transportation. All those services and fees are discussed with the wish team division of Senior Life so that they can negotiate, and their goal is to save a family up to from $30,000 to 50% on the cost. And then at that time, the check. So let's say, for example, round number sake, if you have a $20,000 policy or $30,000 policy, once that decision has been made, then the fee that's being charged is cut from the insurance policy, and then the remainder within 72, oftentimes within 72 hours, that remainder is sent to the family, different from other life insurance companies. So they send the remainder back to the beneficiaries of the policies. Okay, and that's what's unique about senior life. Also, we know that at different times where someone can pass away, a loved one can pass away, and the wishes have not been known. And we're going to talk about living wills and living trusts in a few. But also, senior life plan comes with a planning guide, so that a family member who takes out a policy with senior life will have a planning guide, so that the plans can be known, even though the wills and trusts can be set up. But the planning guide that comes with senior life, with every senior life member, allows for a family member or an individual can sit down with the family, can know, what their plans are. If maybe my home state is another state, Oklahoma, or where it might be, if my plans are to be buried back in another state or whatever my wishes are, it will be in the planning guide that senior life makes available, so that all my wishes are known, who I would like to speak, what I would like to be read. All those type of things are in the planning guide, so that the wishes are known. So, and that's, we think that's very important. But senior life, been around for 30 years. They, as I said, they're located in Thomasville, Georgia. That's where the headquarters. But here, having insurance is so important today, even though we know that oftentimes you have life insurance on your job. But most companies, when you're no longer at that job and no longer with that company, you cannot get that same rate of life insurance coverage, because you now have it at a corporate rate. So here, the advice is that to always have a life insurance policy outside of your job, okay? Because the senior life insurance plan is designed to protect the life insurance that you already have, because sometime under a mournful, stressful time, a lot of money can be spent, where this plan protects the life insurance policy that you might already have, and it's locked in at today's cost. That way you don't have to worry about it going up. But if I take out a plan today with my medication that I'm taking now, it doesn't matter what takes place 10 years from now, 20 years from now, the price is locked in at today's cost. That price is locked in, so you do not ever have to worry about the price, the monthly fee increasing in what I pay out for my life insurance policy. So what I like to do is see at this point, in reference to senior life insurance, if it's possible to get some questions in reference to senior life insurance company.
Yes, and if anyone has any questions in reference to senior life, please put it in the chat on your YouTube or Facebook platform that you're watching presentation on, and we'll pass those questions on to Brother Naeem. As of now, Naeem, we don't have any questions in the chat.
Okay, and later on, I'm sure I could possibly give out my phone number if someone can call if they have any questions. Maybe at this time they didn't have any questions, but later on at the end, I guess we could give out my phone number.
Okay. Yes, I'll put it on the screen right now.
Okay. So if there are no questions in reference to the senior life plan, I just want to reiterate that no one can be turned down, because there are some insurance companies that depend on health conditions. And one other thing I want to mention about senior life that's so unique and different is that when someone take out a life insurance policy, you can add 4 other family members. And I want to give this as an example. you can add 4 other family members to your life insurance policy, even though they are not getting a policy at the time that you're getting your policy. But because you're adding 4 other family members to the policy, that household members, supposedly household members, that means that the out-of-pocket expense, because they are not getting a policy at the time, because you listed them as household members, they can still get the services as an out-of-pocket expense for the cost of transportation. All that is still negotiated for less than $3,000 as an out-of-pocket expense, okay? Meaning that they will pay out of pocket for it because they did not get a life insurance policy. Where the owner of the policy might have gotten a $30,000 policy or $20,000 or $10,000 policy that will cover, okay? And so, but the other family members that's added who are not getting a policy at that time can get the benefit of those services, but it would be an out-of-pocket expense. So just wanted to make that. I think I see, is this a question that I see here? Oh, no. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to bring some clarity to that. And if there are no questions at this time, what I would like to do, you heard Imam Farouk talk about the living wills and living trusts, the importance. I just want to, most of them might already know that. The importance of having a will is so important, as Imam Farouk read, but also the understanding of having a trust. One of the most important things about having a trust in place is that it avoids probate. There's no probate when there's a trust in place. So we offer a plan. Now, we know attorneys can charge anywhere from $2,000 and up, and oftentimes that does not include consultation fee. And not all lawyers or law firms can do a trust. But a will, having a living will and a living trust with a healthcare power of attorney and a financial power of attorney is so important. And we offer those services 2 different ways. We offer the services through United Wealth Education Services, where you can pay $188. And in the services, you get 12 services, but included in those 12 services is the living will, the living trust, and they come with the healthcare power of attorney, so that oftentimes, if you all might not have ever experienced going to the hospital, well, they will ask you who's the healthcare power of attorney, who can make a decision on your behalf in the event that you in a comatose state, who can make a decision, and the financial power of attorney, who are you designating as your financial power of attorney that could still pay the car note, the house note, or other financial services that at the time one might be incapacitated and cannot make that. So when our law firm put the living will, living trust, healthcare power of attorney, and financial power of attorney, they're able to put that together on your behalf. It's $499 if you only wanted a living will and living trust. And I know oftentimes the questions asked from an Islamic perspective, are they able to do it that way? But the great thing about it, because you will go online and state your wishes in the manner that you see that are necessary from an Islamic perspective, because you're the one putting the will and trust together, and then the law firm will take the information that you have put in and they structured in the way that you want it done. And then it's mailed back to you once they put it together for you to look over it, then get it notarized and let somebody know where it is. I want to mention, I was just at a convention with Senior Life last Saturday, heard a gentleman speak on stage, African-American gentleman by the name of Abdul Collier. And this was just last Saturday. And then just got notification 20 minutes ago that after sitting down talking with this gentleman, seeing him get all his accolades on stage, just got a text about 20 minutes ago, this gentleman passed away on yesterday. Young man, I don't think he was quite 50 years old. Don't know the cause of death. But at the same time, the reason I mentioned that, I hope that we can give du'as and prayers for his family. But at the same time, this is showing just how short life can be, as we have read and heard it read in the Quran, that to live every day as though we're going to live forever, but at the same time, live as though we might die tomorrow. So I had to mention that just because of what just took place, Abdul Collier. And so what I'm speaking of now about the living will and living trust is the fact that it's something we should all have, as Imam Farouk just shared, the importance of having the will and trust, and it's called the My Care Plan. And we're going to give the link in reference to it, but the fact that the last will expresses our desires for the handling of our financial and personal affairs when you die. Most of us know we should have a will, but most of us have never been told why the trust is so important. And a living trust is a way to avoid the cost and delay of probate. It's helped to spread out the distribution of your estate over time, to protect assets from creditors and much more. And then when we talk about the health care power of attorney, you can name someone to make decisions about your medical treatment if you're unable to make them yourself. So it also includes the living will. The financial power of attorney, as I mentioned, you can name someone to manage your financial or business affairs if you are unable to handle them. And the reason that we should consider having the living will and trust is because basically what we're doing is planning for life uncertainties. It brings you and your family a peace of mind, but a will alone is not enough. You need a living trust, because the medical power of attorney and the financial power of attorney is a comprehensive plan. It is developed by attorneys. It's a low-cost package that includes the will and trust, and it's endorsed by credit unions and other banks, and it's a full legal document. And I just want to go over some important facts about the living will and trust, if you all can see it on the screen, because it's preparing a financial and healthcare power of attorney, talking with your family to decide how to handle your financial and medical affairs. And all this is so important because the average person may need to revise their will several times throughout the course of their life. And these are just some of the following events that come to reason, because we have children that are no longer minors, the birth of grandchildren, inheritance, our change in health status can bring about a need to revise it. You might have adopted children, or maybe sometime a previous marriage, and you have other children. And a lot of times it can be complicated because one might not know the fact that when there's a trust in place, it's kept private from creditors. And sometimes children from previous marriage can be complicated, not knowing that if it's not stated in the trust to protect the assets, okay, well, you can state that in your will and trust, and it can be kept private. And we hear oftentimes of so many, we hear of major movie stars and entertainers that pass away with no will and trust, and I always use Michael Jackson, for example, who had a will and trust. And when the children, his brothers and sisters, tried to take those rights away from the mother, they could not, because he had the will and trust in place that protected her, and it was kept private. So that's the great thing. But we all need to know, and a lot of us might not be aware, when you only have a will is public knowledge. But when you have a trust in place, it protects you from creditors, and everything is kept private. So, but it's something that we all need. And I think we have some questions at this time. Can this policy be used in another state other than Texas? Yes, it can. In other words, I think your question is, if you get a policy, a life insurance policy with Senior Life, it doesn't matter what other state that you're in, it still pays to the beneficiary. I think that's your question. And I hope I answered the question.
Okay, so we'll ask if there are any other questions or comments, or maybe a follow-up that's needed.
Right.
For that question, that please put it in the chat, and then we'll get that to you.
Yeah.
But right now there aren't any other questions.
Okay. And I just want to emphasize so much in reference not only to the importance, and I think everyone knows the importance of life insurance, and having our senior life plan to protect any life insurance that you might currently have. And I want to reiterate, different from some insurance companies, based on your health conditions or medication, they will not cover you. But here, everyone can get coverage. No one can be turned down in reference to coverage. And at the same time, where our merchandise price is locked in. And also when it comes to the living will and trust, in traditional law firms, it can be very expensive, but it's important to note again why we need a trust over our will. Because the great thing about the trust over your will, everything stands as stated. Everything stands as stated. And it keeps all the information private from other fees, other creditors. That's what's so unique about having a trust over your will. Because, for example, I can will property, other items to my children or grandchildren if they have debt. And a lot of people don't know that. If I leave, I'm just saying thousands of dollars to my daughters or my son or grandchildren, and they have debt, the creditors can come after them for whatever I might have left as debt. So many people don't know that. And there's a cost in probate when there's no trust. But when there's a trust in place, everything is kept private and there's no probate. I just want to reiterate that. Hopefully I was hoping we would get some questions. I always say sometimes if I don't get any questions, that means I didn't do a good job. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay, so once again, we want to ask our listening audience to please, whatever questions that you have, go ahead and submit those. This is the opportunity now to get some of those questions asked, especially when it comes to something that we know that we're all going to have to deal with at some point in time in our life. And so if you have a question, this is a great opportunity to go ahead and pose that to Brother Naeem, and let's try to stump him. Let's try to see if he can't answer anything.
Okay. Acquiring information. Okay. All right. Well, once again, I'd like to thank you, Imam Elijah Salahuddin and Imam Farouk for allowing me to share this information. And I hope that we can get some calls back in reference to this. And I'm available. To set an appointment time for the time that's great for whoever reach out to me. And I look forward to sitting down and making sure that we not only have these documents in order, they're so important, and that we get a full understanding of it and why it's necessary. And at the same time, for life insurance coverage. We always like to say the coverage through senior life if it's important that if you don't have life insurance at this time, we can cover you, and it does not matter about any other health issues that one might already have, or maybe a family member. You might have a mom, a dad, a loved one, family member that might need coverage, and at the same time to be able to explain the coverage and everybody knowing that everyone can get coverage. So I just want to say thanks again for allowing me to share this information.
Okay, we do have a question that just popped in.
Okay.
Right on the screen there.
Okay, I see where it says the reason for the living trust is to make sure where there's no probate. Once again, we know we need a will. I mean, this is something that we know we have need, because as you just said, one of the things for sure, 100% of us going to die one day. We have a funeral home owner that spoke at our convention, and he always asks the question, what city and state do you live in? How many people are in your state? And he asked the question that, so in Texas, we said there are 36 million people. And he'll ask the question, well, how many people will die, in the state of Texas? And most people stumble, try to get a number. And he always say 100%. And but this is why it's important to have the living will and have the trust to protect your will from probate. Probate can be very costly. As some of you all might know in the listening audience, that probate can be costly. But here, having that trust over your will can avoid, there's no probate and everything is kept private from creditors and others, and at the same time protecting my assets, even though I can leave my assets to my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and creditors can come after them. This is something that people don't realize. Creditors can come after them, especially if they have debt. But what you're doing is protecting your family and protecting the assets that you have gained and have been able to provide. And it's important that we protect that. And as Muslim, as Imam Farouk read, it is mentioned as believers, in our religion, that we should have living wills and living trusts. And at the same time, to know that in policies that we can leave assets to our loved one if we choose to.
Okay. We have another question that says, can the trust be written in other states besides Texas?
Yes, it can. It most certainly can. And it's written, and when the law firm put the trust together, it's written according to the laws of your state. That's how it's put together.
Okay. I don't see any other questions.
I know Louisiana is one of the states that are different from any other state that have what's called succession when someone passed away. And so it's, and I just want to say it like, it's even more so, if I can say it like that, to have a living will and living trust, because it's the only state that has what's called succession. And so it is something you want to consider strongly in that state. If you notice in that state, that's the only state that has what's called succession. And I think I'm pronouncing it right. But still, the trust will stand up in that state as well.
Can you explain a little bit about that term succession?
Succession, not fully understanding the succession law, but especially when it comes to property that you might have where you have to oftentimes get an attorney to do the succession in reference to what you own when it comes to property, especially when it comes to property, and the fact of how it's listed for your family, and it can be costly. And it can be very costly, the succession law. Now, one might have to Google that about succession. It's the only state in the United States that has what's called a succession law. And that came from the Napoleonic laws from years ago. it remained in place because Louisiana was a state under France, and so that law remained in place even when it was purchased by the United States.
Okay,
so
great.
The Secession law. So I've just been told, and I've heard it said many times, if you live in the state of Louisiana, you need to have a will and trust. I mean, even if you don't, but it's just really more important. Okay, senior life policy is a family expense. I see a question. The senior life policy is a family expense policy that takes care of my burial and leaves money to my beneficiary. That is so true. Not only does it provide the cost of burial, to reduce the cost of burial by 30% or higher, but at the same time, that there's enough money in the policy, depending on the policy, that the family member choose, there can be money left over. And the great thing about it, the family will not have to wait 4 to 6 weeks for a death certificate to be in place. Most of the time, it's within 72 hours after the check is cut to the funeral home, after the negotiation from the wish team division. Remember, wish team, that means where individuals seek help. That's what wish team stands for, where individuals seek help. Okay, so after they do all the negotiation, and I have a $30,000 policy, if I have a $20,000 policy or a $10,000 policy, once the wish team has negotiated the price of the funeral, transportation, all that has been negotiated, then the remainder is cut to the beneficiary. And oftentimes that's within 72 hours, which is totally different from other insurance companies. They will not cut checks until a death certificate. And oftentimes death certificate can take, from oftentimes around 4 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks. Okay, I think I see another question coming up. Okay. Acquiring affordable.
So I don't see any other questions in the in the chat.
All right. Well, thank you again, Imam Elijah Salahuddin, and thank you, Imam Farouk, for allowing me to share this information today. And I know we'll look forward to some more dialogue in the future, and maybe in the near future, in reference to affordable life insurance, and at the same time, your living will and living trust that we can prepare for our family.
All right. Thank you very much, Brother Naeem Abdullah, for the very informative presentation. And inshallah, we look forward to further communication from you, because we know that this type of information cannot be fully shared in just one setting. So we'll have some future presentations to continue on with further discussions on this.
Okay, I want to make note on my phone number. I think I saw it. The area code might be different. It's 346, and take a close look. I see it's 362, but it's 346-702. The other numbers are correct, but it's a area code 346.
Okay, well, thank you for pointing that out. We should have the correction on here, and we want to.
Yeah, I see it now. I see the correction
audience.
Now. Yeah, 346.
That correction.
Right, it's there. It is, the correction is there.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So inshallah, we won't make the same mistakes with taking heed to this information that we did on the phone number. So once again, want to thank you, and we hope that everyone stays safe during this Arctic blast, and please stay tuned for the community announcements.
Okay, thank you again.
Assalamu alaikum. So please stay tuned. We have the community announcements. So as I pull that up, I just want to also remind everyone to please take note that the phone number for contacting Brother Naeem Abdullah is 346-702-8522. That is a correction from earlier where we had the incorrect contact information in there. So just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that update on the phone number. And as part of the community announcements, we want to also remind everyone that if you go to Houston Media Source, you can watch our Al Islam in Focus program. You can just Google Houston Media Source and you can find where you can watch Al Islam in Focus, which comes on every Sunday. And so our community announcements. Virtual khutbah is every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it is live streamed on our Facebook and YouTube page, as well as the Mercy Community Center Facebook page. In-person Jummah is available at masjidwdm Muhammad. Khutbah is at 1:30 p.m. The Salat is at 2 p.m. masjidwdm Muhammad is making it easier for you to donate. You can click on the QR code or go to the link in order to set up a automatic debit of $50 per month. And with that, you'll help to support masjidwdm Muhammad. Mercy Community Center Masjid Al Quran has two Jummahs. One at 1:30 and the other one is at 2:15 p.m. Mercy Community Center still has its campaign to allow you the ability to support Mercy Community Center Masjid Al Quran. You can go to the link or click on the QR code that's on the screen in order to set up an automatic debit. Taleem public address every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Standard Time, live stream on our Facebook and YouTube page. So that's 1:30 p.m. every Sunday. Your Zakat and your donations are always needed. For ways to donate, you can go to our website. You can send a donation to Zelle or PayPal or cashApp by using the links that are on your screen. Your Zakat and donations are needed for Mercy Community Center Masjid Al Quran as well. Ways to donate, you can find that by going to mercycc.org/donation. Muslima Nights, this is for young Muslims from the ages of 13 to 18 and young adults from the ages of 18 to 30. For more information, you can go to, or you can send an email to muslimanights@gmail.com. New Muslim orientation will be starting back up. Inshallah, more information will be coming out. If you have any questions, you can contact Elijah at masjidwdm.com or 713-385-1215. Barah Sisters Halakha every second and fourth Saturday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. For more information, you can go to www.barrahsisters.com. Fundraising donor wall for masjidwdm Muhammad's effort to build the Ibrahim Kamaluddin Community Center. You can go to the link if you want to donate and be a part of those limited to donation for to help support and help to establish the Ibrahim Kamaluddin Community Center. That concludes our announcements. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.